Hey everybody, how's it going? It's Fandom Empire Now. It is Thursday night. That's right, Thursday night. What's everybody got going on? Welcome to Fandom Empire Now. We're going to talk Joker 2, Joker, Halloween Kills, which was not originally on the docket tonight, but we'll glance over it. We're not going to take a deep dive into it. Might do a separate video for that, maybe tomorrow. We'll see what the schedule is like. We're also going to talk horror on TV. Horror on TV. And by the way, if you haven't yet, go check out our Patreon. Airing sometime in the next couple of days is this Inside Fandom first episode. Surprise, misleading marketing, and more. Inside Fandom's first episode. If you take a look at the thumbnail there, it's going to be good shit. And then we just had this over on Lampkin Lane. What has changed? We do a non-spoiler version of it and a spoiler version of it. And again, just right off the top here, I want to reiterate, rest in peace to our old friend Miriam Tate and to comedy legend Norm Macdonald. All right, let's dive into this. Kieran, no Mike Bish tonight, unless he manages to surprise us. Sean and Mike, are you Twin Peaks fan? Well, Mike's not here at the moment. Mike's dealing with some work stuff. I thought that this might happen, though. He gave us a heads up. Kieran, what's going on, man? Fandom Empire Now. It's been a while. You're also mute. You are too.
I'm having a very tiring day, but not in a bad way. Just, man, like going back to school really wears me out. Like every year I go back and I'm like, I'm ready for the kids. Like I'm ready to go and play tag and do all this stuff. And I'm running around to classrooms as needed. And every year I get tired out. Like after like a week, I'm like, this job sucks. I'm so tired. But whatever. Good day other than that.
Man, there's a lot of stuff I could say about work right now, but it's probably better that I don't. And I'll hand it over to that guy, Tommy B. What's happening, man?
I'm hanging in there,
You look pissed off. I thought I was pissed off. That death stare you were just given, I think that takes the cake. You win the pissed off stare.
This is just my face.
Resting Tommy face.
I guess I'll just go fuck myself.
I mean, you'd probably look happier if you were doing that, actually.
Fuck off, Kieran. No, I'm mad at everyone now. You know what? No, I'm leaving. Fuck this shit.
Tommy just takes off. He's like, fuck this. Thank you, Tommy, for posting that. There's the link to the Patreon if you want to sign up. We've had a bunch of new people join. Lots of stuff going on there. We got some movie reviews coming for the Fandom Addicts tier. We actually have a Fandom Addict show that should happen in the first week of October. So we got so much stuff going on over there. I'm not going to give you the whole shtick again. You guys know the reasons why we're focusing on Patreon. We understand that not everybody can support us over there, but those of you that do, it really does mean the world because it allows us to keep coming on here and doing shit like this. Also, if you want to send in a super chat to every question and or comment read on air, you can do that as well. However, if you're tight on funds and you're debating Patreon or super chats, go to Patreon. One, we get more of it. Two, you definitely get way more bang for your buck. All right, gents. So there's so much in the news today. Let's pull up the thumbnail to the show again. Joker 2 is apparently heading to production, although I kind of feel like someone might have jumped the gun on that one. We're going to talk about what we think are the worst Halloween movies, personally. Yes, Tommy, we are. And we're going to talk horror on TV. And then we're going to briefly touch on something that has come out that absolutely should not have.
We're going to talk about horror on TV?
Horror on TV, yes.
Oh, I thought you said whores on TV.
Whores on TV. We can talk about that too, but I mean,
totally unprepared now.
Whores on TV.
I've been watching horror movies like with whores in them.
Yeah. Eesh. Feel like I'm watching an episode of Sons of Anarchy or Game of Thrones.
I mean, yeah, Sons of Anarchy definitely could pass as horror TV.
Rampage of 78 says, dude, they just released a trailer with a big part of the flashback. I've seen a TV spot. I don't think the 2-minute trailer's out unless it's happened in the last hour or so.
Every time you click on a comment, I become RoboCop.
Let's see. Yes, that's hilarious.
Dead or alive, you're coming with me.
Solid's tired as fuck. Freddie loves his job. I see why you love your job, sir. I'm thrilled for you. He says he can't wait to see Halloween Kills with these boys. Absolutely. It's going to be so much fucking fun. Can't wait. Erica says she loves horror TV. And so does Jade. American Turkey Burger, like and subscribe and like it again. Yes, what he said, what that fella said. And it is just the teaser. Yeah. We, look, I was away from my phone for a good chunk of today, which is unusual. And oh my God, how can we not throw this up? Let's start with the Halloween Kill stuff. Okay. We're not taking a deep dive. These fellas already basically know what it is, but they have not watched it or seen photo. Sorry, Tommy has. Kieran has not. And I respect Kieran not wanting to have that moment spoiled for him. So let's dive into this a bit. So I know it got spoiled at the press conference over in Venice. And then even though the person who, the reporter who asked the question definitely should not have asked it, they still answered it and then tried to back it up with, we didn't know it was being live streamed. Like, it's 2021. Even if it wasn't being live streamed, that information's getting out. And then I was shocked. So one of our sources was one of the guys that messaged me a few times today. And he's like, dude, look at this. And so he didn't even know that it was happening. And so he's like, part of the flashbacks in it. So I started watching, and I'm not seeing it. It's just mainly stuff we've seen before, or extended versions of it. And then, like, it happens, and it's like 1 second done. You know, maybe 2 seconds. And I was just like, I was in such disbelief. Because the second it happened, being someone who's read the script, and like you guys have, it's like, oh my God. It's one thing to show the flashback, which in my opinion, they definitely should not have done. It's another thing to fucking show that in the flashback. Again, we're not going to say what. If you've watched it, I mean, it's out there. It's on YouTube. Go watch it. All I'm going to say is, I don't know if this is, hey, it's in Peacock. It's on Peacock now. We know we're not going to make nearly as much money. You know, let's try to get everyone we can to see it. Maybe they'll see this and be like, oh, got to go see it. I don't know. I don't know the ins and outs of it. But I do know they absolutely no way should have sent that. There was no reason to, shown that. There's no reason to show that exact shot. Like, you could have showed a bunch of other shots if you wanted to in that flashback and still been like, oh, well, they showed the flashback. But to show that shot was kind of like, oh, this is terrible. Tommy, I want to go to you first on this one, man. Could you believe that they showed that shot, which in my opinion shows 3 pretty significant things in the one shot?
So I'm not losing my shit over this image you sent me specifically, because it's not the best of images.
Oh, see, I disagree. You got a smaller image of it that was just screenshot. On
Okay, well,
Yeah.
if it was higher quality, maybe
It
if I
is
could make.
high quality if you're watching it on your TV or even your computer monitor. Yeah, like I said, mine
But
was
I
on.
know exactly what I'm looking at.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of I'm with you on as far as that goes. Like of all things you let get out, of all of your sins throughout this whole motherfucking marketing process, leaking the whole fucking script all the way back. What the fuck is going through their heads?
So I find this interesting. American Turkey Burger. I don't want to advertise too much of this, but one of my texts was that I missed today was, we think the movie got out. Someone recorded it in Venice, the whole thing. Not very great quality, but we think it's out there. And now American Turkey Burger, I don't know if he's just throwing that out there, is now the second person who have no idea who one another is, that is saying this. So if that is true, definitely be on the lookout for, I mean, what's not spoiled at this point, but like, avoid it. Don't watch it like that, people. Go see it in a movie theater or on fucking this shit come October 15th. Shout out to our buddy Toronto Freddy for putting that one together. Halloween Kills on Peacock. Kieran, your thoughts just from like a marketing perspective of the cat's out of the bag now.
I mean, I'm always a little bit less upset about these things than you are, or than you guys are, because I try to look at it from a standpoint of they always have that last trailer where they show way too much, and it's always to get just that last fucking percentage of people that you haven't quite got yet, you haven't quite roped in yet. But something like this, like all this stuff that's leaking out is, I don't know, it like if it was a movie that I hadn't already read the script for and things like that, I'd be pissed. I think I'm a little bit less pissed because I read the script, so I feel kind of immune. Like I kind of want to like send me the image now. I was like, don't send me the image, but you know what, Sean, just send me the image now. Like at this point,
I'm
it's
not
like
posting it on the stream, but yeah, I will.
Yeah, you can send me it. The thing
Again,
it's like
high quality. There is obviously high quality versions of it. I just quickly screen grabbed it.
I just feel kind of immune to, but you know what? Like if this shit happened for the Batman, I'd be fucking pissed.
To be clear, I'm not saying, oh my God, it leaked and it's terrible and how could they? I think this one fucking shot is better than the entire 2018 movie altogether. And I like 2018. But this shot, I mean, it's a flashback, so we're talking Halloween 78, is just fucking, it's incredible, but it's something that people should experience the first time watching the fucking movie. Waiting for Kieran's reaction on it. We've heard Tommy's. I love the shot. I mean, it's also, if you ignore what's in the shot and just look at the shot in terms of the way it's constructed, extremely Dean Cundy-like.
Yeah, see this. I'm a little bit more immune to it because I've read the script and I understand. But yeah, like definitely, if you weren't someone who read the script and they pop this out for you, be like,
what
fuck?
the fuck?
I mean, I would kind of like to not know that this was coming, but whatever. It is what it is.
It's an incredible.
It might get people who are like, you know what? I didn't really like this fucking 2018 movie. Like there are people out there who weren't quite happy with 2018, and they might see something like this and be like, you know what? I'll give it a chance. So
I love the shot. I think it looks amazing. I remember reading that for the first time. Sorry, pardon me. I remember hearing about it for the first time. Then I remember reading it in its full context and being like, oh, they're really going to do this. That's kind of stunning. And like visually, it just looks spectacular. It looks great. It just sucks that it's like if it was the last shot in like a 2-minute and the final trailer, final trailer, Blumfest, it ends up happening, and that's the last thing you see, and it's Halloween Kills, October 15th. I'd be like, okay, well, you still shouldn't have shown it, but that makes sense. But just some passing clip in the middle of a fucking 30-second TV spot, thoroughly convinced these people don't know what they're doing anymore. Just being, I'm not saying I do, by the way. Again, YouTuber, bus driver, not in that profession. It just doesn't make doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But again, I thought the shot was great, and if I had to rate it out of 10, I'd give it 10. I know that's high praise, but
I know I can see, and I'm sure everyone else can see this. The little bit of a smile on your face. You're definitely excited about this, thinking about this picture and how much you like it. You can see the genuine reaction. So at least it did something for you.
I mean, like,
sure
I'm
it's not
still looking
vape?
at it. No, I haven't been hitting the vape nearly long enough. I just started.
Either that, or you're looking at your research for whores on TV. Maybe that's making you happy?
I mean, when doesn't it? Anyways, if you want to see it, I think it's called the Michael Myers Unmasked Halloween Kills TV spot or some shit. It's on YouTube. I'm sure it's all over fucking Twitter. I haven't looked, and I don't want to look. I tweeted out a little warning for people being like, hey, if you don't want something pretty big spoiled in the flashback, don't watch that teaser, which I thought was the respectful thing to do. And yeah, no, what's shown is great, but I don't think they needed to do it. All right, let's shift gears here. We're going to come back to Halloween. We'll let the chat dictate things too, if and when they want. Chris says he needs to go look up the scene. Again, it's a passing shot, dude. If you can't find it, let me know. I'll send you the screenshot. By the way, incredible work on the masks, man. They just look fantastic every time I see you post a new one. All right, let's talk Joker 2. Joker 2 is apparently heading to production, but I don't think it's heading to production as quickly as some people think just because of this report. I still think it's a ways off. Excuse me. And I don't know if they're talking actual filming or pre-production. I think they're talking pre-production. To me, it's still in the early stages of the process, but I'm kind of scared, if I'm being honest. I loved the first Joker movie, and we'll have some time to talk about that here. But this is what scares me. The only thing official right now is that Todd Phillips is coming back to write it. There's nothing about him directing it. Hopefully he does. And at the moment, there's nothing concrete about Joaquin Phoenix other than it's expected he will return. Here's what worries me. What if they do some fucking cash grab? It's, all right, Todd Phillips, here's a bunch of money, write us the script, and we'll just do some spin-off. And we've heard the theory a bunch of times that wasn't the actual Joker, and it was just someone who inspires the Joker, and I really don't like that story at all. But I'm worried that it's just going to be a shell of the first movie, and then it's going to be a cheap money grab. And to me, it shouldn't be that. The first movie defied expectations. There was not a bunch of fucking toys for this movie. There was not a bunch of comics and graphic novels and deleted scenes, and the fanfare was minimal. It was an extremely grounded Joker movie, with, some of those real life issues that are going on. And they dealt with mental health and depression a lot in that big time. And it made $1 billion. It found a way to do that, still make $1 billion with very little fanfare. And I like that movie, but I do think a second movie is extremely worrisome if they don't do it right. Like, to me, I don't know, Kieran, you're a big Batman guy. This is obviously in the Batman universe, if you will. Do you want to see this movie if Joaquin Phoenix is not back? Because for me, will I see it? Yeah, but like, it would lose the hype train big time if we're not following Arthur Fleck still.
I don't want this movie to get made.
Oh, wow.
Here's the thing. The Joker is a perfect, fantastic standalone movie. It doesn't need a follow-up. It doesn't need one. Not only does it not require one, it's just, it just is gonna take away from it. Like I feel like it's just gonna take away from it. It's gonna take away from the whole. I mean,
The uphill battle for them to like get a good sequel out is like it's like the wall in Game of Thrones. Like, how the fuck do you follow that up?
I understand that, they say, well, this movie made this much and it's a business, and they're like, hey, we can make more money. Of course, you can, if you want to make more money, like I would say yes. If I was the owner of any studio and I was like, hey, we can make fucking, at the very least, like $200-300 million off this movie. Yeah, go ahead, do it. I would have to, but like story wise and what I want to find, what I want to see, it's done. It was great. It was fantastic. What else can they do? It's like all the really cool niche superhero movies that we've seen. What I don't know if you know what the one's called that features the guy who plays Dwight in The Office. What's it called? God damn, I can't remember. Anyways, it's a fantastic movie, but I wouldn't expect them to make a sequel to it. It's kind of like an indie film. It's kind of like, something that was just a spectacular idea. And then how do you follow that up? I don't get how they could do it. Certainly, I would be happier if Joaquin Phoenix was in it, and I will go to see it in the theater, probably regardless, hoping that it is a good movie. But I just feel like it's just that whole thing with the film industry right now where they're like, we found something that will make money, let's make more, instead of coming up with more interesting ideas or more, something new. Why do they have to keep doing this? I don't get it.
It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Sorry, they just dropped another TV spot. This one doesn't have nearly as anything key.
Like here's what I think. What should they do? They should make Todd Phillips make another movie. Find another superhero, supervillain that you can make a Todd Phillips style movie. Find someone else and make a movie about them, and then have him have a series about different like characters that are either underlooked or interesting stories. Get him to do another movie, but why Joker again? That movie was a complete story. It's done.
I would say this. Toronto Freddy threw this out just a little earlier. Let me see if I can pull it back up. As I've said before, I'll be fine with a sequel if they use Joker as the archetype for the actual Joker. And I'm on the opposite spectrum of that. I don't want to see that. And yet, in terms of making a sequel work and still, doing Joker 2, essentially, I could see that being the route they go. And I really don't want that to happen. Irvin Kershner once said to George Lucas, well, if you do a second Star Wars, I mean, it'll just be the second Star Wars. It won't be Star Wars again. You can't do better than Star Wars. And then The Empire Strikes Back happened. So I'm very torn. I just, at the end of the day, whatever they end up doing, don't ruin it. That's all I ask. Don't ruin it, because you did something very special and very unique, and it didn't have to be this over convoluted friggin' connected universe where this movie ties to that movie, which ties to that movie, which tied to this movie 6 movies ago, and this one character from the first movie is in the 9th movie, but also pops up in the second. I'm talking about the MCU, and we'll get Tommy's thoughts on that. It wasn't planned today, but since him and I talked about it, I'll let him.
I feel like this will be like Donnie Darko was a great movie, and then they had that sequel that got like 5% on Rotten Tomatoes, and like most people don't even know about it. Obviously people will know about this movie because it'll be a big budget film, but like there was no need to make a sequel to Donnie Darko. It's a great movie, and it's the same type of movie, really. They're very comparable movies in their tone. Why fucking make a sequel to it? It's good on its own.
Tommy, before we jump into the MCU stuff, because I think it'd be cool to talk about what we talked about earlier, your thoughts on a sequel to the Joker? Should it be done? I believe you finally watched it and liked it, correct?
Well, I think it'll be a piece of shit.
I had to. I'm sorry.
So,
That's it.
honestly, Joker was fantastic. I didn't see it until, I had a trial of HBO Max going back maybe 9 months ago, maybe a year. I don't fucking know anymore. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I don't really. I mean, I guess hey, they'll always make anything if it'll make money, right? So maybe they just figure if we put Joker, brand that, and the people will come. It's a celebrate. It's actually a divisive movie, I would say, because I've seen many people hate it, but I think there's a good crowd that raves about it. So they'll definitely go see it. But it's like you say, right? How's this follow up going to be? Is this going to denigrate the original film, or is gonna be an Empire Strikes Back scenario where for many people it's going to just blow it out of the water, right?
Man, I get why Halloween Kills is being considered the Empire Strikes Back of the Halloween universe. People aren't saying it's as good as the Empire Strikes Back. But boy, do I have a hard time seeing how they could do that with Joker. I don't know. It'd be really hard. Just don't fuck it up. It doesn't have to be as good as the first one, but don't fuck it up. But that is one of the things that appealed to me about Joker was, hey, it's not a connected universe, standalone. Joaquin Phoenix really doesn't do sequels. I'm on board. And I mean, say what you want about Joaquin Phoenix, he's one of the best actors on the planet. Like him, hate him. At the end of the day, that dude is as talented as they come. But anyways, let's move on here from Joker and Joker 2 for a second. And I want to bring up well, we're not really moving on necessarily, but like again, I just said why I like Joker. And a lot of people, I seen the MCU getting some hate from Denis Villeneuve and everybody, acting like their dog just got run over by a bus or something with his comments. Which hopefully your dogs did not get run over by a bus. That would be terrible. But it's like, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of movies in the MCU that I really like. But I also think the MCU has created this false narrative that everything needs to be this connected universe that ties all in together. And it's like, you can still do standalone movies or duologies or trilogies. It doesn't need to be 5 movies, 10 movies, 20 movies. And obviously they've done it really well. They're really the first big, movie studio to do it like this. And they've done it well. But I got to be honest, guys, when I'm talking about like my favorite comic book movies, this is in no particular order, but you're looking at Logan, X-Men Days of Future Past, Deadpool, The Punisher, Joker, the entire Dark Knight trilogy. What do all of those movies have in common? None of them are MCU.
They're not in the
movies.
big giant MCU picture.
Correct. And it's not like, oh, it's intentionally like that. That's just the way it turned out. Like when someone asks me, are you excited to see whatever the next MCU movie is? Or are you excited to see The Batman? It's like, to me, it's not even The Batman. I want to see the fucking Batman. I also think that DC, even when you look at Zack Snyder's Justice League, is definitely more of like an adult feeling, upper teen adult, where the MCU can still be pretty kiddie at times. Yes, I'm aware half the fucking universe got blown away, but it was also quicksand. It's not like they melted or anything. Kieran, your thoughts on just MCU versus other comic book movies? Not necessarily DC. They can still be Marvel movies, but maybe not connected to the MCU.
Well, I have a strong commentary on this, just coming from the last weekend. I went to go see Shang-Chi, or Shang-Chi. I keep wanting to call it Shang-Chi because I think of Shang Tsung. But anyways, And I thought it was a fantastic movie. I really liked it. It was great. It's a good action movie. It's got some laughs in it. The one character, the sidekick friend, the girl, I forget. She's played by a girl with a really weird name. Anyways, it was awesome. It was great. There was laughs in it. There was action. It didn't resemble the Marvel formula to a T, but it was mostly the same action and then laughs right in the middle, like right in the middle of fighting. People are making jokes and stuff, and the same sort of thing. The story got a little bit boring in the middle, but overall, I thought it was a good movie. I would probably, coming out of the theaters, would have gave it a 7.5 or 8 out of 10. Liked it.
Most people would be like, "Oh my god, how come you rated it so low?"
The problem is, the next day I was like, it was just kind of a Marvel movie. I thought it was good coming in, and I think had we not had already fucking 40 Marvel movies, I would have been blown away by that movie. The problem is, it's just a Marvel movie again. It's just like all of them. It doesn't matter what they do with the characters, what they do. It's the same formula every time. And even though I enjoyed myself, and I'll see the next one because I did enjoy myself going out, but my reflection on the movie the next day was like, it was kind of just a Marvel movie.
I like the amount of hate that Denis Villeneuve's getting is I kind of practical. I see why he's getting it, and that's the response I would expect from a lot of fans. But for me, like, I'm kind of in his camp. Like, yeah, the Marvel movies are kind of copy and paste. Like they change a bunch that's in them, don't get me wrong, but when it comes to structure, it's very much very similar movies almost all the time.
They have a couple properties that are a little bit different. I think Guardians of the Galaxy is not quite. It kind of goes outside because of some of the things they've done with different characters and having characters who, just different relationships between characters and things like that. So having a group in that movie, but yeah, all the Iron Man movies, all the Captain America movies, all the Thor movies, they're all pretty similar. Ant-Man was a little bit different. I feel like that kind of did some different things, but mostly it's just the Marvel formula, which,
I mean, hey, it's making them a bunch of money, so if it's going to continue to do that, they're not going to change it. So
no, and like I said, I also enjoyed the movie, so I understand why it's making money. I'm still in the camp where it's like, Marvel movie, cool, I'm in. I like them. I like them all. I enjoy watching them. But I find that less often am I blown away for more than a day or two.
Yeah, and to me, I think that's a problem because recency bias is a huge thing while seeing a movie or a TV show for the first time. And I mean, I'm sure we're all going to have all sorts of recency bias the night of October 14th when we do that review. It's yeah. So, and we'll let Tommy have his say because he's pretty fresh to the MCU, so he might have a unique perspective on this. I'm not saying I don't like the MCU. I love a lot of movies in the MCU. I thought Endgame was okay. I thought Infinity War was amazing. I like both Guardians movies. I like Iron Man. I like a couple of the Captain Americas. There's a lot of good movies in there for sure. It just, if someone asks me if I want to watch an MCU movie or Logan, guess what one I'm picking? It's not an MCU movie. So that'd be my take. And again, like, I know this would not be a popular opinion, but Denis Villeneuve has just done Blade Runner 2049, which did not do well at the box office. But in terms of storytelling and visual presentation, I don't think there's a Marvel movie that comes close to touching that. And I wouldn't be surprised if Dune is the same. But again, these are properties that, the general moviegoer don't fucking know anything about. And it's probably not going to do well at the box office. So it is what it is. I think comic book movies definitely have a built-in advantage over non-comic book movies, in my opinion, especially if you're Marvel or DC. Tommy, your thoughts on the MCU in general, and if you prefer MCU movies over non-MCU movies.
So, like, the biggest really spoken joke or whatever is when we bring up MCU, I always only know like maybe half of what we're talking about. Well, that's not this really the same anymore. Over the past several weeks, few months maybe, I've had some extra time here and there, so I've been fixing that. I just decided, you know what, I'm gonna try to fix this. Originally, I was going to do a walkthrough of the whole MCU. That didn't happen because I just didn't want to go during this time rewatch films I've seen so many times, or in a case or two, just certain ones I just didn't want to watch. Hulk's a great character. I didn't want to watch Hulk. I didn't want to do it. But the Guardians, I love the Guardians. I've seen the Guardians movies many times. They're some of my favorite of the whole MCU. I just, for time's sake, just skipped them this time.
Oh, I didn't mention Thor Ragnarok, by the way, which I think is amazing.
Yeah. So I'll move into what I was saying to you earlier. This morning, I finished watching Endgame. I've seen everything except for like 3 of the 4. I think it's 4. TV series.
Did you cheer up, Tommy? Did you know it was coming already?
What's that?
Come on. If we're talking Endgame, there's the big thing at the end. Did you know it was coming? Was it spoiled for you, or did you find a way to not be spoiled?
I knew it was coming.
Okay.
But I'll admit this, I did not know every detail of what was coming about Endgame. I thought Gamora comes back up to life, which I guess she still could. But yeah, so that was a few things caught me off guard.
I'm not a big fan of the ending of that movie, to be honest.
Anyway, so I obviously haven't seen Shang-Chi. I haven't seen Black Widow, which will be on Disney Plus free in a few weeks. I'll be catching it then. Something else is joining, and I haven't seen the Spider-Man film, so that's probably the worst thing I haven't seen, right?
Homecoming's okay in my opinion. Far From Home's fucking brilliant.
Yep, and everyone is excited for No Way Home. Maybe it'll be the best. Maybe it'll suck. Whatever.
The debates I see around that movie on a daily basis is just. I've never seen
thing right now. So I'm in a good spot, right? I've caught up on a lot for the most part. Everything. I know the universe, and I don't want to just definitively come out and say that I think the MCU is better than every freaking thing, Dark Knight trilogy included, because recency bias. We talk about that a lot here. I won't say I'm also new to the MCU because I've seen a lot of these, the earlier Phase 1 and 2 films when I was a lot younger. So there's that. I can easily say, though, like I said during our private conversation earlier today, looking at Marvel and looking alongside Star Wars, which I've been in that universe since I was a freaking kid, 3-4 years old. I can understand why Marvel's the bigger money maker for Disney. The worst, quote unquote, worst MCU movie for me blows the fucking ship out of the water in comparison to the sequel trilogy.
Oh, I don't know about that. Oh, man.
I have no problem saying that.
So you think every MCU movie is better than The Force Awakens?
Maybe.
Oh. Hang on. I need a moment. Go ahead.
Now, I might, and you know what? A movie that a lot of people don't like, Ant-Man and the Wasp. I enjoy Ant-Man. I got no issues with Ant-Man, with Ant-Man and the Wasp, with the character, Scott Lang. All that's fun, Hank Pym and all that fun quantum bullshittery. That's all cool stuff. I got no issue with that. It's like I said, if I think back to the MCU movie that jogged me the least, and maybe I should rewatch it just to be fair about it. It's probably Hulk. You know, Hulk is. I just did not have any real desire to go back and rewatch it. Early on, I rewatched Captain America. I rewatched the original Iron Man several months ago, and I went through for just for refresher's sake too. I saw it before. I've bounced around. I've done this. I've done that. I have no idea what Sean's doing. He's probably gonna come on this fucking screen with some new image or some shit. But yeah, I can honestly say that it breaks my heart saying this. The MCU is in a far better place than where the Star Wars franchise is. I love Star Wars.
That's not even debatable in any way, I don't think.
People would debate it. I'm a Star Wars fan first, but I have no qualms saying that.
Yeah. I mean, you can debate that what's happening with the stories or what you enjoy more, but like the MCU fucking drops a movie in its sleep that beats everything else in the box office. Like they're fucking doing this shit like it's a factory. They're like, here you go, another hit movie, another hit movie, another hit movie, another hit movie. Like
I think
they fucking just pump them out like a factory. So
I think it took me finishing basically the Infinity Saga to really come full circle with like, hey, wow. So this is where MCU, this is where Marvel is, and this is where Star Wars is. Both are big money makers for Disney, but I can totally understand why the scale shifts in one way, right?
Oh, if I was Disney, I would be way happier with my acquiring of Marvel than I would be with my acquiring of Star Wars, and that wouldn't be close.
They have themselves to blame for how it's been handled. So
now, working on something you said, very briefly.
Oh, hang on. We can't move on just yet. I'm shocked that I heard you bring up the Hulk. I often forget it's in the MCU. So you're telling me potentially the Hulk could be better than The Force Awakens?
Potentially. Again, I haven't seen the Hulk in years, so I knew he was doing something. I knew it.
I feel like the problem is The Last Jedi is better than other movies, not The Force Awakens.
I like The Last Jedi more than some MCU movies. I'll say that. I probably like Rise of Skywalker more than some MCU movies.
I don't think there's a MCU movie that I would put lower than Rise of Skywalker. I honestly never want to see Rise of Skywalker again. I've watched it a few times, and I'm like, every time I'm kind of like, I'm going to watch the sequel trilogy again. And I'm like, Force Awakens, that was a fun movie. And then I'm like, oh, Last Jedi, I love that movie. So many, I love that movie. And then I watch Rise of Skywalker, and I'm like, why did I watch this? It's fucking so bad.
So funny, because most people that love The Last Jedi hate The Rise of Skywalker, and I think the reasons are pretty obvious. Abrams basically came back in and did what 55 to 60% of the fan base wanted, and just like, fuck that. But the thing was, I don't want to get on a long Star Wars thing here. I didn't like The Last Jedi, but I also thought, hey, that's the direction you went. Now you need to follow that.
I mean, I don't like that, but that's not my only gripe. Like the whole final act of Rise of Skywalker is garbage, like complete garbage. Like the whole final battle of Rise of Skywalker is like a fucking Fast and Furious bullshit. Like honestly, it's just.
They tried like to do every this whole final showdown against Endgame thing, right? And
let's have 10,000 Star Destroyers that can't move going against 50,000 terribly CGI'd shit. People bitch about the prequels for CGI. Holy,
and then
you're bringing in,
and then the Emperor just goes and fucking does whatever, to all of them, and makes them all irrelevant.
And just the whole Rey beating the Emperor too. It's just like, oh my! It felt very. I don't know if I know Tommy knows DBZ, but it felt very Goku.
Well, Rey didn't beat the Emperor. all of the good guys beat all of the bad guys.
Oh yeah, right. Ugh.
It was all of them.
We need Terrence to review the sequel trilogy. I think he'd have fun with that.
Well, I know Terrence does not like any of those movies. I'm a big fan of, I enjoyed The Force Awakens because I remember despite flaws in the movie and the fact that it's kind of a redo, being as that they did almost everything they did in that movie before already. The feeling I got watching that movie, what really was a Star Wars is back. I love this. It's fun. I like the characters. I was happy with that movie coming out of that. And like, I feel like it delivered on the hype that I built up on myself. And The Last Jedi, I really liked. I know we don't whatever have arguments about this all the time here, but I really did like that movie. Rise of Skywalker, I literally left the theater like, what the fuck was that? Like, who did this? I do know that Terrence hated them all, though, so.
We'll have to have him on sometime to talk about it.
So, Sean, you made this comment about MCU and everything being, super interrelated, interconnected, and all that. And I feel like, the route they've gone with, the timelines and the multiverse and all that, anything is basically possible, right? But I feel like they're really playing on it with, now that the Infinity Saga is over. The Loki we see isn't the Loki, before Infinity War.
No,
he
it's
died.
It's the Loki from the first Avengers movie.
Yep, he's dead. So, but still, we're following him, right? That could end up back to Thor eventually.
Yeah, but it's millions and millions and millions of dollars and millions of subscribers, and
yeah, of course they're going to keep going.
They have so much they can do with this, and
I feel like this What If series is an example of, just trying to do things for the hell of it, right? They're their own independent stories. It's kind of like what Star Wars is doing with the was it Visions, I think that's the right series. These one-shot anime style episodes. I
haven't watched any of them yet.
It's hard to say that, though, because What If is a very famous comic book that they've done very many times throughout Marvel history in the comic books. And there is What If comic books that are literally like, what if Thor got turned into a frog? And what if, this character and this character got married? Or what if, I think there's a what if that starts the whole Ultron took over the universe, which started a whole comic book on its own that made Ultron kind of popular for a bit. But What If has always been a series in the comic books that, it's definitely a tribute to that, having that.
Yeah. And Star Wars has done similar things in the past. It's, it's just a play on that, right? Like, it's still functioning within the MCU, but it's not completely relevant to every freaking twist and turn that the saga is taking.
Yeah, not to mention, like, I'm not going to say what it is. If you want to find out what it is, then tune into the first episode of Inside Fandom over on Patreon. Again, you can sign up for our Patreon if you want to support the channel on that level. We strongly encourage it. If you have the means to do so, patreon.com/Fandom Empire. New exclusive shows like Inside Fandom, Supernatural Revisited, and the continuing Lampkin Lane. You went from RoboCop to Wilson. But yeah, no, check us out over on Patreon. I'll say this. We're about to hear a lot more talk about the MCU and expanding again. And that's not even like a maybe thing. That's a 110% happening thing. And we're going to talk about it over on Inside Fandom, hopefully in the next couple of days here.
Honestly, if you're one of those guys in our chat who, like, every once in a while throws out a $3 or a $4 or a $5 super chat, which we do really appreciate. Absolutely love that guy. No matter how much you support or don't support, or just comment or chat a lot, we love y'all. But, why not take that, once a month, once a week, whatever super chat that you send in and go and get yourself an extra couple shows.
Well said. Well said. Definitely encouraged. Again, that is patreon.com/fandom empire. Had M poop on there.
Plus, you get to be on that cool list we got.
Yes, the cool list. The cool list. The list.
I like seeing my name in print all the time.
Where's the list? The list is gone. There we go. There's the list.
You just made the list, Sean.
Ooh, I like what you did there.
We should do that.
A list?
Well, no. So, like, every time that we get, like, another new person in the show, you just made the list.
I like that. Hang on. I actually think we got another one today. 1 second.
Let's find out who just made the list.
Where are we here?
Except we don't say "you stupid idiot" like Jericho does.
I'll type it to you, Kieran, and you can do the delivery.
All right.
Private chat.
Oh,
let's get some music for this.
Sean R., you just made the list.
That happened quicker than I was anticipating. Yes, no, Sean R. Big.
What, you want a fucking drum roll?
He's going for the cool music. Anyways, check us out over there. But yeah, no, the MCU is going to be expanding again. People are going to be like, well, now what does this make possible? And crazy times. I don't envy anybody that has to work on these projects either. Oh my God. I think that was my best Terrence. Anyways, guys, let's talk Halloween again. Let's shift our way back to that little universe called Halloween. By the way, if you haven't yet, check out our Halloween group on Facebook, Halloween Fandom, run by our boy Dean Renner. So we're talking worst Halloween movie. What is the worst Halloween movie in each of your opinion, and why? I'm going to let Tommy B lead us off here. What's the worst Halloween movie that you've seen, and why?
Halloween 5. Oh, I still need to
give us the reason why. Yeah, not that Halloween 5.
I still need to provide reason. I thought that was all inclusive. I'm sorry. Well, the characters are annoying. The film itself is just dull as all hell.
Thanks, Jason.
I'm sitting there.
Gotta put it towards the Patreon, though.
He's doing that as a direct, like, fuck you to me.
Yeah, he's like, fuck you. I'd rather give
you guys?
And Google.
Why don't you go to Patreon? And then Jason Case is like, you know what, Kieran? Fuck you.
I'd rather give Google my money. It's not too bad. I look at all their ads all day, right?
Sit on the super chat and rotate. Anyway, Tommy, go ahead. Why? Why is Halloween 5 the worst?
No, I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, it's just the plot's dull as shit and the characters are insufferable.
Hang on, I want to give another shout out here. Lorraine says, I haven't watched Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 in years, and I feel like being fair and giving it a try again. Should I do it? Yeah, do it with a watch along with us. We're gonna play a little game that might get me in some trouble over the next couple of weeks with that movie, and it's gonna be fun. So do it with us. Come watch it with us. Also, I want to give a shout out to Lorraine. I looked for her on Facebook. I couldn't find her. I know she's on there. I just couldn't locate her. But she is also one of our newest Lampkin Lane members. So big time shout out to Lorraine. Do it.
You just made the list.
Yeah. No. Apparently she didn't want to be on the list. That's enough out of you. Yeah.
You know what we should do a watch along for? Whores on TV.
Oh, wow. It's Tina, right? It's Tina. Tina's the reason Halloween 5 is terrible, right, Tommy? All right, let's just assume Tommy really just hates Halloween 5. Kieran, what's the worst one, man?
It is. It's Resurrection.
Why is that? What's your favorite direction?
The story is complete garbage. It's totally one of those like dated films that they're doing a kind of a web series thing. They're doing a reality TV show. I feel like it doesn't feature a lot of Michael in it. It doesn't add to his backstory or anything interesting. I mean, a lot of people hate the start of the movie. I actually think the start of the movie is the best part. The rest is all crap. And I'm not a big fan of fucking Busta Rhymes. I actually do like Busta Rhymes as a musician. I was always a fan of him. I mean, he has
Rhymes.
He's kind of a. I mean, it's kind of just his voice that makes him cool. But
think about this for a second. Someone's favorite Halloween movie is Halloween Resurrection, and Halloween 5 for that matter. Somebody somewhere has that as their favorite.
Oh, I really like Halloween 5. It's not my favorite, but I do really like it. So, I can understand people liking any bullshit. The people that tell me that they think the Rob Zombie films are awesome, I'm like, cool. I don't think so, but I get how they're different, and I get how someone could like that.
Yeah,
if that's your thing. Like, if you like Rob Zombie films, sure, they're great. Then I personally only like a couple of Rob Zombie films. There are some that I like, but I think it's under 50% of his films that I've seen. So, anyways, there's not anything memorable about the movie. None of the characters you care about. They're all kind of garbage. It doesn't add anything to the mythos. It doesn't. There's not cool Michael stuff. Busta just makes it kind of a joke. I don't see any redeemable qualities where even RZ2 has that beginning of the movie that is pretty awesome.
Oh, the beginning of Rob Zombies 2 is or Halloween 2 is just, I think it's one of the best openings for a Halloween movie.
And there's a lot of the part where, Tyler Mane is not really walking around as Michael. He's walking around as just a guy. If that wasn't called Halloween, if they made that into another movie and it went to a strip club and killed people, this giant fucking 6'8", 6'10" guy fucking run around, sticking whores to the wall with a knife and stuff like that, it'd be pretty cool. But, as a Michael Myers movie, you're like, can he just fucking wear the mask? Can we just get it to be like kind of a Michael Myers movie? So yeah, I think it's Resurrection, like 100%, not going to change. I don't know how they can make a worse Halloween film in the future. So
I'm going to, we only got about 15 minutes left in the show, guys. So if anybody wants to send in their 20 at the most, if anyone wants to send in their final super chats or questions, send them in now. We'll try to get to as many of them as we can within reason.
Or subscribe to Patreon. We'll put you on the list.
Yes. The list. Anyways, Toronto Freddy said, after seeing what was done with Shang-Chi, I now think this is the time they can do a proper Dragon Ball Z film. Well, excuse me, sir.
I'll never be there.
Excuse me, sir.
I will never be there.
Don't do it.
Well, you don't need to be there because there already is an amazing Dragon Ball film. The live action was fantastic. The casting was great. This movie was everything it needed to be in the Dragon Ball universe. The only thing it was missing was Krillin. Other than that, it was fucking just phenomenal. I don't see how you can top something like this. I truly don't.
I hate you.
I'm kidding. That's one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. That was hard not to break down and laugh there. Holy fuck, did they... Ugh. I remember like being stoked when I heard the initial announcement. You got to remember I was younger then. And just being, I think I was like 19 or 20 when it came out. And just being like, oh my God, live action Dragon Ball. Hell yes. And oh man, it was bad. Holy cow! Like, if someone's like would have asked me beforehand, how bad do you think this could be? I never ever would have answered that bad.
Some things are not meant to be put into live action. These examples include Dragon Ball, most anime for that matter. Death Note was not the worst thing in the world, but it was far from good. Avatar: The Last Airbender. And yes, Netflix is currently working on a series for that, and I am very, 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 very cautious. Have they ever made a Masters of the Universe live action series? I know they just announced that they're working on a She-Ra one.
They made the greatest fucking He-Man movie ever with Dolph Lundgren in it.
I haven't seen it.
Oh man, he did fucking Punisher, and let me tell you,
I love that He-Man movie. The Masters of the Universe movie is amazing, in my opinion.
Anyways, my answer for the Halloween movie is Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Now, I do find this movie a guilty pleasure. I actually enjoy watching some of it because of how bad it is. It's one of those movies that's so bad it has some redeeming qualities for me personally. However, it's fucking horrendous. It's horrible. It's easily the worst Halloween movie ever made. Halloween 5 is miles better than this garbage. Halloween Resurrection is better than this garbage, in my opinion. It just, it felt like self-sabotage. It honestly did during parts of that movie. And it is what it is. I get it. There's people that love it, though. I'll say this. The opening sequence was fantastic. And then the rest of it's outside of Malcolm McDowell is pretty forgettable. Halloween Resurrection.
I'm gonna watch those RZ films again soon. Actually, well, I'm gonna watch them all again.
We're gonna do 2.
You know what? I'm going through the complete series. I'm gonna skip fucking Resurrection. No, I won't watch it again.
Man, too bad that campfire watch along never happened. We were supposed to watch that and Freddy versus Jason in the same night. Oh,
I was probably just going to close my eyes most of the time anyways.
Just hold your hand up. Fucking Orange Cassidy style. Yeah, no, but anyway. I'll shift gears one more time before we get to a few questions and get out of here. So horrors on TV. No, horror on TV is, I got to tell you, I'm not sold on it. Wasn't sold on Scream. I think Leatherface had like a short series that I couldn't get into. I just don't know if horror works, specifically slasher horror, works on TV. Chucky looks fucking horrendous. I've never agreed with someone I've never agreed with Terrence as much as I do on that one. Chucky looks terrible. And then now we know I Know What You Did Last Summer. I watched the trailer and it did nothing for me. I'll probably end up watching part of the series just so we can talk about it on here, but my God. And then to know that there's a lot of talks right now going on about a Halloween series. I don't know, guys. Horror on TV, I really do think those type of movies are meant to be an hour and a half, 2 hours long and done. Thoughts? Anybody? Take it away.
The only thing I can think of, are you into American Horror Story?
I liked the first season and that was it.
I haven't seen a shred of any of them, so I can't speak to it, but I do know that's very popular and done very well. The people that I know who do talk about it are like, oh, what do you think about this season? They're like, I didn't really like that one, but this one. So they're really like, they did a lot of interesting things apparently, because everyone has a different favorite one. And to listen to people talk about those, I guess from what I hear, the seasons are all very different.
I'm not saying I didn't enjoy any of the other seasons, but the first season, like I thought that the show was going to be like that going forward. And it really wasn't. And that was a bit of a letdown because I thought that first season was magnificent. But
I do think it's possible to make one of these things work, but I can't say that I know that it's been pulled off before. So I mean, I'm not the one to do it. So we'll see who does it.
Blu-ray Addict said the Bates Motel TV series and Hannibal TV series were both great. I thought Bates Motel was good for the first couple seasons and then got pretty dumb pretty quick. But Hannibal, I have a hard time classifying that as like I guess it's horror, but it's not really slasher like, even though there's some gruesome deaths in it. It doesn't feel or operate like a slasher. But I really did like that series from start to end. Any of you guys see Hannibal?
No, I didn't. I'm interested in seeing it, but I never did. It got lost in the shuffle with all the other fucking things I have to watch.
Well, Tommy, do you think horror can work on TV? And what have you thought from what you've seen of Chucky so far?
I haven't seen Chucky.
You haven't seen the trailer for the series?
Oh wait, no, I've seen the trailer, but has there been anything more with it, or
just looks like shit?
I'm not gonna lie, this isn't horror.
Who brings a doll to school? No, I'm kidding.
Like horror on TV, it's not something I go out of my way to consume, right? So, I don't know. I feel like if they put it on the right,
fuck you guys. Chucky looks good, but it's on Sci-Fi.
Like the right network, the right audience, the right marketing, maybe something can work. But like that's all difficult to pull off with horror at times to begin with. So for a TV series, there's a big wall to climb,
Well, just so we're clear, we don't want to disparage anybody from being excited to watch Chucky. I'm just saying, in my opinion, it looks terrible.
Well, you got to be fair. You don't like Chucky, though, right?
So, for sure. I'm not a big Chucky fan.
And I think that it looks like, but I also have not seen a Chucky movie in a long time. So my excitement for it is not going to be anything near people who are fans of the series.
Yeah. Yep. All right. So horror on TV, though, Kieran. Do you think it can work? Have you seen the I Know What You Did Last Summer trailer yet? Because, like, for me, like, I get what they're doing with the name, but it's really just in name alone. None of it feels like those two movies that came out in the 90s.
I saw the trailer. I don't really remember a ton about it. I remember when you first mentioned about it. I do think that horror could work on TV. I think there's a lot of series in the way that they're built up to end. Actually, have you seen True Detective before?
Yes, I've seen the first 2 seasons.
I think that if you did it in the same way as that, and True Detective is not a horror, it's a very fringe on horror because there is some weird voodoo magic, crazy crap cult stuff.
The McConaughey Harrelson season is just fucking brilliant.
Yeah. Oh, and it's very spooky at times, and it's very creepy at times. Now, if they did something like that, I think it could totally work. If they did, season by season, and they're different and have different stories, and you don't know who the bad guy is, there's a little bit of mystery. I think those things would be fantastic. I would absolutely, I can absolutely see something being successful and being something that I want to watch. But it just hasn't happened yet. So obviously you got to pump a lot of money into it. True Detective is something where they hired some really big shot actors into it and, put a lot of thought and money into it. And it's, I don't know if anyone's ever going to do that with a horror series because they, big shot actors don't even normally want to be in horror movies, let alone horror series. So I don't know.
Blu-ray Addict said the I Know What You Did Last Summer TV show looks like teen drama, like Pretty Little Liars or Gossip Girl. Yeah, that's exactly what it looks like. And
don't you fucking make fun of Gossip Girl. That is That's Tommy B's favorite show.
I like You. He's the guy in You is from Gossip Girl. I can't fucking say the dude's name to save my life, but yeah. He also asked, where will Halloween Kills stream in Canada? Probably on every illegal site possible. I don't know of a deal yet with Canada. I don't, and like the dollars involved in that are significantly less. I wouldn't be surprised if it ends up being premium video on demand, but I also wouldn't be surprised if it ends up being Netflix. Netflix Canada, to be clear.
So, like, how often for, let's say, explicitly Canada, since that's what you
lots
would
of
know,
extra hype in the chat, by the way.
do you just find out, like, the day of or the day before where this movie's going?
No, there's usually a little bit more notice than that, but whenever there's like some sort of streaming announcement done, when it comes to content, I never just assume that we're gonna have it in Canada. I always double check to make sure. Like I didn't know till recently the Seinfeld deal, the $500 million one, was also Canada as well, not just the States. So
Yeah, we got it on the Crave.
it's leaving Crave.
Oh, it's leaving Crave.
Yep, in what 30 days in September, 31, whatever
Where's
the
it
last
going?
day. Netflix Canada.
Oh, okay.
Netflix Canada.
Well, I have both those, so.
Freddie said, I heard there's a sequel to the I Know series coming soon. Apparently, it's going to be called Honk If You Still Know What that. Oh, my God. I had it too low. Apologies. Yeah, I could see it going to Netflix Canada. But I also think premium video on demand is possible, and you're looking at like $30 a pop for that. So it'll be available, and because of their release method, it'll be available everywhere. But you shouldn't do that. We don't encourage that. Fellas, I think that's
It'll probably be on Halloween fans to Facebook.
They'll just stream the movie. Someone
and
over
probably
there
try to charge it too.
Yeah. Absolutely. I can see it.
Shaky camera.
No,
Throwing
we're
it.
talking like they just stream it on friggin' Peacock.
Oh yeah, why the hell not? I
Facebook.
guess you could do that too, right?
Oh, in kind of like the shitty logo they have at the end where it's like Halloween Kills in theaters and then just like, oh, and on Peacock. It can be like Halloween Kills on Peacock and Halloween fans. So, but yeah. Good stuff. Kieran, when is the Rick and Morty fan show coming back, sir?
On Tuesday, I hope.
Tuesday, he hopes. Whatever that means.
Yeah, well, we're supposed to be doing trivia on Tuesday. I think we're going to be bi-weekly. I think it's going to work out that we're bi-weekly. I'm just kind of getting a handle on my daughter's hockey schedule. That's really been kind of crazy. In fact, we had like 4 or 5 hockey games added to our schedule while I was at hockey practice today. So literally, like, I was sitting there and it was like, oh, there's a game on Thursday. Oh, there's a game on Saturday. Oh, there's a game on Sunday. Oh, there's a game on the tournament on the day that we're doing a baseball tournament, which is fine. I will have someone else to drive it, and I'll still be good for that. But like literally, like I'm at practice and I'm like, ding, another game, ding, another game, ding, another game. Oh my God, this doing rep level hockey for your kids is a job in itself.
The Sound Painter Studio. Yeah, I think Jade and I are going to watch this tomorrow night. I haven't read too much about it other than like the third act is insane and the movie's kind of just, it's the talk. So I feel like I need to see this movie now. So I'm definitely going to give it a shot over the weekend. Tommy B, where can everybody find you at, dog man?
What?
What?
What the fuck did you just call me?
Nothing. I can call you anything.
Okay. That thing's a fucking abomination. That That thing needs to get smited Castiel style.
What
You can
sound?
find me on Twitter and Instagram at TommyB1650. Yippee whippy.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're back on YouTube, the tuber thingy, the tube that things. Tuesday, 9 p.m. Sorry, Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, the Rick and Morty Fan Show. And then at 9 p.m. Eastern, Fandom Empire Live. Don't know what's happening yet. Might be a watch along. We'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see what we end up doing. But that's going to do it for us. Have a great weekend. Fuck the Hulk. It's not better than fucking The Force Awakens. You're out of your mind. I said it. Oh, there's a pay-per-view match. Terrence versus the Halloween Peacock.
I'd watch it.
I'd watch it. I'd totally watch it. Probably be better than Halloween 5.
I mean, I'm sure, Terrence likes to brag about his karate moves. I'm sure that, with a big enough super chat, we could get Terrence to do something like that. Wrestle a peacock.
Our boy Terrence. And a big shout out to our chat mods in the chat tonight. Leading the way, Toronto Freddy. Jade was in here a little earlier. And a big shout out to Mikey Bish. He published his first article with Collider. It's a fun one. Go check it out. It's on our Twitter. Big things ahead, and we'll see Mike next week. Anyway. I'm not going to highlight it, but that's hilarious. That's the end of the show. Good night, everybody.
Watch whores on TV. It's fun. All these people made the list.